Welcome, everybody. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Kelly.
We have a little special guest in the background.
Hi, Caleb.
That was like perfect timing, though, because
Okay.
Brody's here with Kelly. You know
Yes.
what? This is real life, everybody.
Yeah.
You know, we had time to record. We had a plan. Life is lifing on Kelly's end. And you know what? There may be some background noise.
Yeah.
Like I can
that.
hear right now. It's fine. This is what happens, right? We made a plan and we're gonna work through it. That's all good.
Yep. We're gonna do the best we can.
Welcome to Life with a 4-year-old. Hey friend, what are we gonna talk about today?
I think we're gonna talk about
I don't
I
know what's happening right now.
I've lost my mind. We are talking about some new things that we have ventured into. Some new, what would we call them? Routines?
Routines, activities.
Activities.
Yeah. It's kind
Habits.
of funny. There we go. It's kind of funny too because like I know that you've had like a crazy week this week and I've had kind of a crazy week this week, but it's also funny that we Kelly and I discovered like last week, 2 weeks ago, that we're like, hey, we both started this like new habit, this new routine in our lives, right? This is a great topic to talk about and how it was really fun and cool and exciting like those first 2 weeks. And then for both of us, this like third week has kind of gone batshit crazy upside down.
Why does that keep happening? Like, that was something when a month ago, well, I guess it just ended a few weeks ago, but I was doing a 30-day challenge with Leslie Logan. Shout out to Leslie Logan. And it was for, to like get into the habit of doing your Pilates practice a minimum of 3 times a week, which I strive for 6. I usually take 1 day off. So I strive to do it 6 times a week or 6 days. While during that challenge, she said the same thing. She said week 3 is the hardest. It's always the hardest. And I'm like, why is that? I have never quite figured it out. Like, what is, I know why. I know.
It's funny. No, it's the same thing. And my coach pointed this out too. Shout out Jim Fortin. But he pointed this out too. Like, say if you do a 3-month program, it's usually about the midway point. If you're doing a 30-day program, it's usually about the midway point that your reptilian brain, your habit brain, fights like hell for you to go back to the way things were. Right? So it's that survival part of that brain that says, no, you're ignoring all of my signals that I'm sending you, because your habit brain doesn't know good or bad. It knows what's programmed, right? So it's going to fight for you to stay exactly where you are because that's what you've programmed. And so it thinks your survival depends on that. So when you're in that, say, 3rd week of a 4-week program or the 6th week of a 3-month program, when you're at that halfway point, your habit brain starts to freak out because you've been ignoring all of those little subtle cues that it gives you. And now it's like, hey, this is serious. And so it's at that point where you're going to start being like, it's okay. Like 5 days a week is good enough. Right? Like if you're used to 6 days a week, it's like, this one, I can let it slide. And if you really take note, you start giving yourself permission to slide, to let go. It's okay. I don't have to be as strict. That's your habit brain. That's your reptilian brain pulling it back.
Yeah.
We both had kind of emergency situations come up. Like, obviously that doesn't have to do with habit brain, but, right? But it does challenge that routine that you're trying to establish, right? So your habit brain is going to pick up on, oh, we didn't do it. Yay. right? Like it is going to pick up on, this is important until this happens, right? It is going to pick up on those things. And there's that moment in there where we look at how integral are we being by allowing circumstances to affect whether or not we do the thing.
Right.
So yeah, it's been an interesting journey, but what I wanted to chat with you about was, so you've established a new kind of workout routine.
Yes.
Tell us what's going on, Kel.
I started doing weight training with a trainer. And not that I haven't done, I guess, weight training before, but I hired a trainer.
Wait, so... You're saying trainers hire trainers?
Yes.
I just had that chat with somebody Saturday too, like the yoga instructor, and she was like, my father-in-law was making fun of me because I took a yoga class, and he's like, you're the teacher, why are you taking class? And she's like, because that's when I do it. Like, right. When I'm teaching, that's not my workout.
No, right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, and it's a little bit outside of my area of expertise because I'm a Pilates teacher. I don't use weights really. And if I do, they're little weights, and I don't target big muscles. So this is what her and I talk about my trainer is, I'm real good at working the little muscles, but I don't work the big muscles because I just don't. Because in Pilates, you don't work big muscles, you work small muscles. But being that I am a woman of a certain age,
20,
when you start to get over 40,
20,
your bone density just naturally starts to deplete. And I know that, and I want to combat that. So that's why I spoke to her and I was like, I need you in my life because I know I need to lift weights for my bone health. And so this was week 3. So I see her twice a week. So I've seen her 6 times. So I'm basically an expert at this.
This habit is so established. It's just not even funny. Right? Basically an expert.
It's so funny because I have, it's so outside of my realm of knowing that I can't tell you what I'm doing.
Yes, you can. You tell me all the time.
Well, yes, I can describe it, but I can't tell you what it actually is.
I had to do these things.
I mean, that one time I was telling you about the goblet squats.
Yeah.
I was calling them goblin squats.
Yeah. It's fine. Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
I really don't.
This is a goblet. Now I want some wine. Fill it up. Come on.
I know. And then after you said, you mean goblet? I was like, oh yeah, that's what she said. When you're holding it, it's like you're holding a goblet.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so yeah, I have no idea the names of the things I'm doing.
It's not your job.
I mean, when I'm there and she says, we're going to do whatever, I kind of like for a second and then I'll go, okay. And she always shows me, thankfully. So then I go, okay. Now I remember what that is. But yeah, it's been very interesting. I have never been so sore in areas that I clearly don't work on in my Pilates practice. Like I said, the big muscles are just like, and yesterday was terrible because she had me work, doing much more arm stuff than we have done. And my left arm is very weak in comparison to my right arm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like to the point that we got to a point where I was like, I literally cannot bend this arm again. Like it won't go. So we had to stop.
It won't go.
It won't go.
And it's interesting because I think we've even spoken on here in one of our health or exercise podcasts how weight training and Pilates are actually great complements because of that. Because classic fitness, classic weight training are going to focus on even classic group fitness. We're going to focus on those big muscle groups. It's like biceps, triceps, shoulders, quads, you know, even legs just becomes legs because everything's working together, right? Glutes, it's all one. But then in Pilates, you focus on the stabilizers of those muscles. You focus on the muscles that stabilize those bigger muscles. Yes. So yes, in Pilates, like we work butts quite a lot, but your target is your glute medius, not your glute maximus, which is what classic weight training is going to target.
Yeah. Although my one day my glute medius hurt terrible after she made me put the smallest band I've ever seen in my life. It looked like literally like a rubber band, a little thicker, around my thighs, which by the way, she had to help me put it on because I literally couldn't pull it up my legs because it was so small. And I was like, this feels like putting on pantyhose. And I'm really resistant to this. So then, needless to say, we get the thing on. Then she wants me to lay down on the floor. After I have my legs in the smallest band I've ever seen in my life, I have to lay on the floor, and then I have to do alternating bridges and clams.
Yeah, perfect. Right. So you're like, this is something you do in Pilates.
Right. But then we finished with jump squats.
Yeah.
With said band around my thighs. I'm pretty sure that is what got my glute medius.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the plyo, and you've already got that tension. So you're activating them just by pushing that band out, right? They're engaged. I love
miserable.
I love it. So what I wanted to chat about, like in this episode, is okay, now, like you said, you've got a pretty established exercise routine of Pilates 6 days a week. But you just also said, well, this has been on my mind because I know my bone density is depleting. I know that weightlifting is going to be good for me, a good addition. I know these benefits are going to come from this. But what are some other pros that have come along with your decision to start doing this?
Well, number one is having somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, having somebody else watch me move is something I desperately need because I don't get it very often. So even in Pilates, I really would like to have someone watch me move because I know I'm very aware of what my weaknesses are, but not having someone push me, I can easily cheat it when I'm by myself and get past it. Having somebody stand there and watch me and go, no. Can you push that right knee out a little bit more? You need to use that outer hip, blah, blah, blah. You know, all these things is very helpful to me because like I said, I know what my weaknesses are. I know my right side hip is bad hip. I know my right knee is starting to turn in, which I don't like. Mm-hmm. And having her show me and guide me in a way that will keep my knees from becoming knock-kneed as I get older.
and causing a plethora of other issues down the line.
And causing a bunch of other shit. It's really helpful and it's been very eye-opening. She is, you know, she's very anatomy oriented, which I know enough about anatomy to be dangerous, but I don't know a lot. That's not my forte.
Yeah.
And so I like it a lot. She's teaching me a lot. And, you know, also it's a good opportunity for her to learn from me, even though I'm not teaching her Pilates per se. She is learning more about Pilates to the point that now she's like, you know what? I think I'm going to start doing lessons with Georgia on a weekly basis because I know I need Pilates in my life.
Yeah, they're a great compliment. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, if I helped her, realize that she needs to do some more Pilates to offset the weight training that she does, then that's a win to me. And that wasn't my purpose. My purpose was, I need your help. I need your help, and I don't know what to do. And I don't have the tools at my disposal to do what I need to do. Like, I don't have the weights that she has, by the way. They keep getting bigger every week.
Yeah. That's how it works. I know. But
I don't even ask.
That's what I told you. What was it? Like your second week, you were like, she upped my reps. And I was like, yeah. And then you're like, she upped my weights. And I was like, yeah, that's how it works.
I know.
No, I don't like this.
She doesn't really tell me what they are, and I don't really ask. I just go, okay.
You said that at the end of your first session when you texted me. You were like, I kept looking at the numbers and going, I can't do that. So then I just stopped looking at the numbers. So, like everything in life, there are pros and cons.
Yeah.
What are some of the cons you've experienced in this process?
So I would say, like, personally, some of the cons are I'm not as strong as I thought I was physically.
Okay, so a little like self-awareness around like what? Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
And I would say, the the biggest con is like how freaking sore I am afterwards. Because I'm like, this tiny little muscle right here in your shoulder, it hurt for like a week on my left arm because my left arm is my weak arm. So I was just like, oh my God. So some of that, now granted, I like to be sore after working out. That's my preference, is I want to be sore because I want to feel like I did something. But this is the next level sore that I haven't experienced in a really long time.
So I hear you saying it's very uncomfortable for several days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It's physically uncomfortable. The other con is that now I'm like, okay, so now I've got Pilates and I've got weight training, but now I think I need to add cardio, which I hate. I don't know how to do that. I don't want to do it. So I'm just like, I really don't know what to do. But
you can cross that bridge when you get there. I can help you with that. I can help you. I can help you weed through some options, see what works best for you.
There's times during those, like, my heart rate gets up and I'm winded with, like, just the movements that she has me do. And I have to, like, take a walk around the gym before I can go back to the next set. Because I'm just like...
Yeah.
But she also makes me go really slow, which I appreciate because I prefer to do slower Pilates than fast.
As much work in those eccentric motions than there are in some of the, power positions.
Yeah. So.
And how did this go down with your family? What took place there?
Well, because Brody is in school 3 half days, I just asked her flat out. I said, I dropped my son off at school at 9 a.m. Could you meet at 9:30 on Tuesday and Thursday? Because on Wednesday I teach in the morning, so I couldn't do Wednesday. So I was like, can you meet at 9:30 on Tuesday and Thursday? And she was like, yeah, I'm open. So I'm like, perfect. And then I said Tuesday and Thursday initially because my brain was like, I probably need to do this twice a week. But I asked her too. I was like, so your opinion, how often do I need to do this? And then she said, twice a week is good for you, considering, that you do work out already. But when you're doing weight training, you don't want to do it every day anyway. So it worked out. that. So I go and see her while he's at school, and then I'm pretty much done in time to like come home, grab a snack, and then I go and pick him up from school.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. What'd you have to give up to make this happen?
Well, I had to give up my morning, like I used to come home after dropping him off and I would go for a walk, and then I would come home and I would get on my reformer, and then I would pick him up from school. So I had to give up my walk and my reformer at that time in order to go see her. So I'm still trying to work out where to put those two things, you know, in addition to I still do my mat every day. I also like to get on my reformer a few times a week too, and I just haven't figured that out yet when to do that. Mm-hmm. That's what I had to change.
What I just heard you say was you had to give up something that you were comfortable with, that you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
In exchange for this thing that you know you're going to be uncomfortable with for several days. So why do you keep doing it?
Because I enjoy it.
Well, one, I feel strong.
I feel like some of those exercises, I feel like a badass.
Yeah.
There's definitely certain ones that I initially I will be like, oh, I don't think I can do that. And then I do it and I'm like, shit. Oh, I feel like a badass.
That's my favorite part as a trainer. Yeah. That's my favorite part is when I do something, like I give a client something and they're like, I can't do that. And I'm like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. I know.
That's what she always, yes, you can. I mean, I say the same thing.
I know,
to people.
Right?
I'm like, yes, you can. But the weights are just intimidating. You know, like when she had barbell out the other day with plates on it. And I was doing straight leg deadlifts.
I love those.
Or something with that barbell. And I'm looking at this thing going, I'm not picking that up. And she's like, you can do it. Because it's really just legs.
And butt.
And I'm like, okay. So I do it. And then by the, third set or whatever, third or fourth set, I'm like throwing that thing down and I'm like, yeah.
I love it. So
because it was heavy.
all said and done, you started this new thing. It's been tricky. There are moments where your brain is like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. We're not doing this because this isn't what we do. You had to give up something that's comfortable and familiar that you're in your zone with for something that one is kind of the unknown, right? This is new to me. And two, is going to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
But what's more important to you, right? That's really what it comes down to is what's more important to you, to be safe in the familiar or to wade into the unfamiliar and the uncomfortable because you know that this is going to be something good for you, good for your health, good, you know that there's benefits with bone density. You know that there's benefits just for functionality in your body. What's more important?
That's more important to me. I mean, I don't, I want to be healthy. I don't want to have bone issues. I don't want to have joint issues. That's more important to me than like staying in my comfort zone and seeking someone who is a professional. She's my age, it's not like it, I think that's what made it so much more comfortable is meeting her and knowing that, we're in the same kind of category of life, if it will, because we're both in our 40s. We have young children.
Hello. Oh, he can't hear me because you got headphones on.
I know. So I think that helped. And she, she's had some stuff that she's had to deal with, you know, in her physical health. So, so that, you know, that was helpful. And that's kind of why I was like, okay, so.
How long had you been like considering this or thinking about it and this whole like, I should mix in some different activity? Like, how long was that going on in your head?
A long time. Yeah, a long time. Like, I had tried, like, when I first, you know, started teaching at the gym, you know, I kind of wanted to meet some of the trainers there and, like, try stuff. But
so that's like 2 years?
Yeah. 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had tried, like, their, I guess, boot camp style classes or whatever, but it was one of those things where I'm like, I wasn't quite comfortable in it because I didn't know, like, the workout of the day. I didn't know what any of that stuff was. I'm just looking at this going, I don't know what that is, you know. Luckily, I had a teacher there who, her and I were friends, so she would tell me, you know, because most of the people in class already knew, but it was one of those things where I was like, I really think I need personal training. Like, I need somebody to be one-on-one with me so that I can be challenged and not feel like I'm holding the group up or whatever until I learn, you know, some of this stuff. Maybe I could go into a class, but even then, like, I like how slow we go. And yeah, I only do in an hour, I might do 4 different exercises, but I do 4 reps of each of or 4 sets of each of those. It's not like I'm doing a ton of stuff. Although, you know, I'm incrementally doing more and more. Like, she'll have me do 3 different exercises, rotate around. So it is getting more and more as I get more familiar with the exercises.
And what I think is really valuable about what you just said is looking at what do you need to feel more secure in what you're doing, right? That's one. And then the second aspect of it, plain and simple, is being willing to invest in your needs. Literally invest in it, right? Like, so it's something common. We both experience this, right? Is I want to go into a class because it's less expensive, right? Because there's more people, blah, blah, blah. But there have been times where I have had to tell clients, you are not ready for a class. The stuff that we're doing here is very, you know, intensive on the trainer, giving you very specific things for your situation that doesn't happen in a class, right? The class is more generic. So being willing to go, 1, this is what I know would work really well for me. 2, this is what's going to support me the most. And 3, it's okay to say, nope, I am worth in this investment. My concerns and my needs are worth this investment, right? And I think that's a really valuable like takeaway as well, is just to go, you know, I was uncomfortable in this situation. That doesn't mean I can't do group classes. It doesn't mean clearly boot camp classes aren't for me. Clearly weights aren't for me. No, there's some other ways that you can still implement this. It's valuable to know what works best for you and best supports you, and then go from there.
Yeah. I saw her the first day I saw her. I didn't even ask her. I didn't ask her how much it cost. I didn't. We did our workout. I left. I came back the second time and I was like, I didn't even ask you what this costs. And she was like, oh. And she told me I didn't even care. I was just like, I don't care, because I know how beneficial this is for me, that it doesn't really, like, yes, it matters,
right,
but not enough to make me decide not to do it.
Right. And it's such a powerful place to be in that position, right? Like, I know my friend Kelly, like, she's not like, hey, making it rain, money bags, just throwing money anywhere, right? Like, no, but
definitely not.
But that's something I think we've discussed before is your natural inclination, I can't afford this, or how can I afford this? There's a difference. And we will always find a way for something that is important to us. Always. It's a human nature thing. You will always find a way to do what's important to you. And so the fact that you went through it and you were like, nope, this is important for me and I don't care. I will make this happen. Right? Yeah. That is a powerful place to be in. Yeah. That is where you will make this happen.
Right. And I even was like, I even said to myself, how can I make this work? Mm-hmm. Because I know that it's important to me and to my body and to my health. So I'm going to figure it out as I go. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm paying her.
I am paying her.
I am paying her. I haven't not paid her.
I value the service that I am receiving.
Right.
I exchange that monetarily.
I even felt bad after I left that first day. I was like, I didn't pay her anything. And I didn't even ask her. I mean, she knows how to get a hold of me. Right. Funny thing is that her husband and my husband work together, which is kind of funny.
So he tracked down Craig. Got it.
So so she could figure out how to get money out of me if I just walked out and never came back.
I think this will be coming out in January. What a great opportunity and a great time to embrace something new, to try something new.
Yeah.
If you want help with that, hey, we're happy to help you. If you want new Pilates, contact Kelly. If you want coaching around starting something new, we can do that. Or if you started something, as we kicked off the beginning of this episode with, if you started something, but you find yourself in that slipping back into the old habits, right? Mm-hmm. We can help you with that too. Let us know how we can help you. If you're feeling overwhelmed with the amount of information you have 23 episodes in, there's a lot of information here, but information is one thing, action is another. And so if you need help or encouragement taking that action, reach out to us. Let us know. We're happy to help you. And with that, we'll sign off here. Have a great one, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.